It's time for Fuuto PI. Nom 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 nom. Wait, it's Fuuto PI? Hello everyone, it's thomasjujube, and usually I don't talk about anime on this channel, but today I'm making an exception for Fuuto PI, the anime adaptation of the manga of the same name, both of which serve as the sequel to 2009's Kamen Rider Double. The first episode premiered this last weekend with a simulcast release on Crunchyroll with English subtitles, so I figured, hey, I might as well talk about this first episode and give my thoughts on it. There will be spoilers for episode 1 of the anime in this video, but I'll be sure not to spoil anything from the original Kamen Rider Double season, since you don't really need to watch that to understand this premiere. Before you hear my thoughts on the episode, make sure you leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought of this first episode, and also, if you've seen the original Double season, make sure you check out my spoiler reviews of that if you want to hear more of my general thoughts on the show. And if you haven't seen Double, google.com is a great search engine. What I really liked about this first episode is that it skirted the line between being a sequel and its own kind of anime really well. It's structured identically to one of the original episodes of Double as a 2-episode mystery focused on a client requesting the help of the Narumi detective agency in regards to a supernatural event within Fuuto. So it feels like a supernatural successor to the original show. That is the plot of like 90% of the episodes. The character introductions don't feel too heavy-handed, so it doesn't feel like you're being told information that you already know, and also just due to the nature of Double, it makes sense for the characters to be expositing a bunch of stuff within the story because they're talking to characters that they've never met before and they have to explain stuff to those characters. And because of that, it makes this world feel super lived in. Obviously, because it is super lived in, there's a whole season before this. If this is your first time meeting Shotaro and Philip and Akiko, seeing all their bantering and references to other characters makes this an exciting entrance into a new world that you probably can't wait to see explored. I don't know, I can't speak for your opinion. It actually helps even more to make this feel like a sequel because that show started with Kamen Rider Double already pre-established, so it's like continuing that idea. I also really enjoy the minimal usage of Kamen Rider Double himself for the same reason. It harkens back to the original show, and it's really cool to be introduced to the world with all the supernatural elements shrouded in mystery before it's like, oh, our main character is also like supernatural in essence. I guess what I'm trying to say is that what makes this such a cool first episode is that it's not just a sequel in terms of characters returning and their stories continuing, but it's a thematic sequel as well. It continues a lot of the plot dynamics from Double so that this is a really digestible beginning for first-time viewers, and if they choose to go back and watch the original show, you're pretty much getting more of the same. You could say this is kind of like a remake of Double, but obviously it's not, but it kind of has that vibe to it, which is really interesting. In regards to the specific plot of the episode itself, I thought it was fine. I'm glad that the show didn't try to shy away from Tokime being this mysterious witch slash the villain of the episode, since it was kind of obvious. And since this is only part 1 of 2 in the specific storyline, I'm definitely looking forward to the next episode to see what's her whole deal. Actually, I'm pretty sure that she's supposed to be a recurring character since she was in a bunch of the marketing, so in that case, I look forward to the rest of the season to see what's her deal. She has like zero personality, and a lot of the scenes she's in made me uncomfortable. Why does anime have to be like this? But I love a good mystery, and I'm looking forward to seeing why she's acting the way she is, and if it's related to the Gaia memories. Especially in regards to this weird alternate dimension thingy she was doing. When Shotaro pointed out they were in a totally different city, it made me realize this is kind of a game changer for these characters, since the city of Fuuto is so central to their personalities and is literally the title of the show. So throwing them into this crazy upside down version of the city was super interesting. I hope that it plays more of a role later on in the show. Oh yeah, probably now's a good time to point out that I haven't read the manga this is based off of because I can't read, so I'm going into the show completely blind. Leave a comment below letting me know if you've actually read the original manga, or even if you've seen the original season, or if you've seen any Kamen Rider season. I'd love to know. Speaking of Kamen Rider Double, as someone who enjoyed the original season, my favorite part of this episode was definitely all the little nods to it. The return of Shotaro's classic informants, Shotaro continuing to use toys that are no longer on sale, the police police officer with his big back scratcher, all of that and more was really great to see. Even the character interactions, like when Philip and Akiko individually roast Shotaro for different reasons, was really nostalgic, but it's also really funny. Like, I feel like you would enjoy that even if you weren't remembering when that happened all the time in the original show. I actually almost cheered when the extreme memory was used to transport Philip to the fight area. It was such a cool moment that I wasn't really expecting and was such a cool nod to the original season. My biggest complaint with the episode is that we didn't get more of Philip, to be honest. Between Philip and Shotaro, I've always preferred Philip, and his first appearance in this isn't until almost halfway through the episode, and then after that he's just at the end for like a couple seconds. I like Shotaro, of course, so I don't mind that the episode was focused on him, but I also would have liked to have gotten more with his partner, or just the two of them together. It's kind of weird that half of the Fuuto PI is just kind of a mystery in this episode. On a similar note, I wish we got to see like Kamen Rider Double Henshin. As I mentioned earlier, I like that we kind of hold back on Kamen Rider Double. I get the idea is to make this episode more of a normal anime. I mean, technically neither Kamen Rider or Double are in the title of the show, and I'm perfectly fine with all of that. But like, at the end of the episode, we had a perfect opportunity to have Shotaro and Philip henshin into Double right before we end the episode as a cliffhanger. It seemed like the episode was genuinely building up to that moment right before, it's over now. It would have been such a great way to end the episode and still get the hype for the next episode, but at the same time, now I want to see the next episode even more now, just so I can actually see the first henshin. So like, I guess let's call this a draw, Studio Kai, if that's even your real name. I will admit this is kind of a minor nitpick because the beginning of the episode gave me all the Kamen Rider Double action I could have asked for. Oh man, I totally wasn't expecting to get Begins Night to not only be recreated in animation, but also be like reimagined with a whole entire new fight scene as the introduction to the series. It works so well because if you're new to the world of Double, you pretty much get the introduction scene of the original show. You get to learn about Shotaro and Philip's relationship as Double, in addition to the inciting incident of the death of the original boss. But if you have seen the original show, you just get a stunning new rendition of one of Double's most iconic moments with a completely new fight scene that still manages to tie into the original show. The animation is so beautiful, and that goes for the rest of the episode as well. It has a really pretty aesthetic. There's a really interesting point of view shot at one point that kind of adds to the mystery, and the bike chase later on was incredibly exhilarating, especially since it's a rarity in normal Kamen Rider these days. But the crown jewel of everything, in my opinion, is the opening minutes. I could honestly watch this first fight all day. It's just incredible. It looks amazing, spectacular, all the really good adjectives. I hope that the rest of the fights in the show can live up to the hype and the beauty of this first one, and if not, maybe we can get a creditless version of it. That would be good enough for me. So I thought Fuuto PI had an excellent first episode. As a fan of the original Kamen Rider Double, it had a perfect balance of returning elements and new mysteries, and I am very excited to see what other new stories and familiar faces the show can bring in. Be sure to let me know what you thought of the premiere of Fuuto PI down in the comment section. Check out my other Kamen Rider Double videos, and subscribe to this channel, and check out my Patreon page for more of my other Kamen Rider videos, and I hope to see you next time.